Hollywood, da 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 da, Hollywood. Da, 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 da. I don't know the words, so I'm making them up, but I can sing the tune, so I will sing it for you. Hollywood, da 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 da, da Hollywood. Welcome back to Collector of Stuff. Monty here. Let's talk about movies today. Everybody loves movies. Whether you collect movies, whether you collect comic books, whether you collect toys or Hot Wheels cars or vinyl or CDs or sports memorabilia or Band-Aids or coins or Q-tips, belly button lint, whatever it is that you choose to hoard up on and collect, everybody loves movies, right? I do too. In fact, that's one of the things that I enjoy not only watching but collecting as well. And over the last 2 or 3 months since I've regularly made some videos, I've picked up quite a nice handful of new movies for the collection. I'd like to share them with you if you don't mind. Share them with you. I'm not just going to share them with you. I'm going to share them with you. Say that with me. Share. So anyway, Sonny, and share them with you. So the first few movies are probably ones that most of you guys have picked up on as well in the last few weeks. Let's start it off with Jurassic World, the big blockbuster this spring. In my personal humble opinion, it is my favorite of all of the Jurassic Park movies, including the first one. I really do like it. To me, it was just entertaining, kept my attention from start to finish. I think Bryce Dallas Howard is wonderful in the movie. I love the scenes of riding the motorcycle with the velociraptors. Thought that was pretty cool. So, yes, Jurassic World we have added, and of course, what is can't think of the name, but the big sea monster, sea dinosaur there that makes the sharks look like sardines. That was pretty cool scenes as well. So, yes, I picked up Jurassic World. Really happy to have that in the collection. I do have the other 3 movies in a collection together. Was glad to add that one. And of course, like so many other geeky nerds, of which I am proud to be one, I picked up the Star Wars The Force Awakens. My wife really loved this one and thought it was her favorite Star Wars movie. Of course, nothing will top the original for me. But this one comes pretty darn close. It's a great story and fits right in there with that original trilogy in my mind. I care nothing for the second trilogy, but this one really fits right back in there, puts me right back in that world, and got me excited about Star Wars again. So, yeah, glad to have started to say something, but it might be a bit of a plot spoiler for anybody that hasn't seen it yet, so I'm not going to say what I was thinking, just so I don't make somebody mad for ruining the movie. What else have I picked up? How about Leonardo DiCaprio's Oscar-winning performance in The Revenant? Of course, if you have seen this, you know that the scene with the bear mall going on is just spectacular. To think that all that is done CGI is just incredible to me. It was so lifelike and so real. I'm getting a lot of glare there, aren't I? I need to hold it that way. But yes, my wife and I split right down the middle. She did not like this movie. She didn't like anything about it. When I asked her could she come up with one thing positive about the movie, she said they successfully created what they set out to create. But that doesn't mean I have to like what they created. So She didn't like it. I liked it a bunch. I can't say I loved it, but I did like it. It is a movie that I would watch again. Not anytime soon, but I'm sure somewhere down the road I will enjoy watching it. I did find it fascinating that Leonardo won his first Academy Award for a performance in which he barely speaks, a handful of lines. An injury prevents him from speaking, except in grunts and groans and whispers for 2/3 of the movie. So I just thought that was kind of weird that you can get an Academy Award. And my wife says, well, it's not how many words you have, it's what you do with them. And yeah, whatever. Then I could do that. Anywho, here's a movie I bet very few people know or have, because I've really rarely heard it spoken of, but I found this at my used bookstore and I was so excited because I got it for $2. And it's a Billy Crystal film called 61, starring Thomas Jane and Barry Pepper. And it's all about the year 1961, where Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle were both swinging to break Babe Ruth's single-season home run record. And it's just about not only their relationship together and their friendship and teammate as teammates together, but put that there, maybe that can, there we go. But also just the chaos that went on from the press that put stress on them, how it wreaked havoc on their emotions. Of course, we all know Mickey Mantle had substance abuse problems throughout his life and career. Those are portrayed quite heavily in this film. But if you are a fan of baseball movies, you will love this movie. I encourage you to pick it up. I'd heard about it. It sounded good. I had it on my wish list for quite some time. And then I found it at my used bookstore, like I said, for $2. Couldn't pass it up. Only complaint I have is that it has that snapper case opening, so I hate snapper cases like that, but I believe that's the only way that it was produced and manufactured was with the snapper case. So something always goes wrong with snapper cases, and you can see I just bent the cover because of the stupid snapper case. But anyway, if you can find it, pick it up. 61, Billy Crystal film. It is superb. Alright, now a handful of family-friendly films. Let's go with the first one, which is the most recent version of the Peter Pan story, entitled Pan. And I actually thought from the previews, Hugh Jackman, of course, is in this, and I actually thought he was going to play Hook, but he plays the pirate Blackbeard, who was sort of the, according to this, the protege of Captain James Hook. So this is an origin story about Peter Pan, how he came to be Peter, and so you don't get the traditional Peter Pan story. You don't get Wendy and Michael and the little fat kid. Can't think of his name, but you come to find out how the Lost Boys came to be. All of that good stuff. So what would I give this movie? If it was like thumbs up to thumbs down, it would be not completely down, because some of the cinematography and the effects were kind of cool to watch, but it's definitely somewhere in that vicinity. Not quite a thumbs down like that, but it's a pretty bad movie overall. But there are some redeeming elements about it. But yeah, that is Pan. Like I say, there's some of the scenery, the cinematography, and the special effects were kind of cool. The story doesn't really go anywhere, you know? It just seems so, it felt, how many minutes is it? It is 8,000 minutes. Well, if it's on here, it's in really, really small print. 111. 111. It felt a whole lot longer than that. I really, last half hour was wishing this movie were over. That's kind of the way I felt about it. So that gives you a clue. But two animated family-friendly pictures. Picked up Inside Out with the slipcover, so that was kind of nice to be able to find that. Inside Out from Disney Pixar. Fantastic movie. Had not seen it before. We just watched it. Of course, it stars Amy Poehler and Mindy Kaling and Phyllis, what's her name, that was also from The Office. Trying to remember who all else had voices in this. But wonderful, wonderful animated film. These are all, these beings sort of represent different emotions. You have happy and sad and mad and scared, and she is disgusted, I believe is what they called it. But they sort of represent the emotions that go on in a young girl's mind, and they do so from a control center kind of thing. It's a great movie. If you're into Disney, Pixar, Toy Story, you know, kind of movies, you need to pick up Inside Out. You will love it as much as I did. I really did. I've also picked up the brand new Peanuts movie. Charlie Brown and Snoopy and Lucy and Linus and Peppermint Patty and all that. I have not watched this yet, to be honest. I picked it up. I didn't see it in the theater, but I was able to get this online for $5, brand new, factory sealed, not too shabby, from a dealer in California. So it was nice to have that. Looking forward to watching it. I know that it's a CGI type of animation versus the traditional two-dimensional Charlie Brown, you know, cartoons that we've all grown up with. So I'm eager to see what that looks like. But yeah, I can't wait to see that as well. Now, let's get into some horror stuff. One family-friendly horror and some not so family-friendly horror. The family-friendly horror I picked up was season 1 of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Now, obviously, this was past my my age. I was already an adult when this came out. However, my children were right prime for this, and so one of them brought it up not too long ago and said, "You remember that show, Are You Afraid of the Dark? You know, it was a pretty good show. You know, for easy scares, not horrific kind of scares." So I picked up season 1 because I never really watched it when it aired on TV, but I wanted to pick that up now. And as you can see, it's a 2-disc set, and there are all the episode titles from season 1. I've watched about half of season 1, disc 1 so far. So I've still got quite a ways to go to get through season 1, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I'm a big horror fan in general, and sometimes it's okay to have a little, light scare, easy scares, without having to go into the really, gory graphic stuff. So, Are You Afraid of the Dark season 1? Now, for a couple of non-family friendly, and I tell you that in all caps, underlined. Why are they non-family friendly? Because they are from the director Rob Zombie. I was able to pick up House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects. Got these for $5 a piece for both of those. I actually had not seen these until I picked them up, and of course I'd always heard about these movies, kept hearing about them, needed to see them for myself. They are definitely, House of a Thousand Corpses especially is definitely in my top 10 favorite horror movies now. I loved this movie. I felt Devil's Rejects was a good sequel, not a great sequel. I didn't think it was as entertaining as House of a Thousand Corpses, but certainly a good movie in its own. And certainly they make a great pair together. You almost really kind of want to watch them together. It's hard to watch one without watching the other one. So glad to have these in the horror collection now. House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects from Rob Zombie. Really like Sherry Moon Zombie. She's a beautiful girl and not a great actress, but she's okay in this role. I can't see her doing much outside this genre. And continuing on in the horror vein, I actually have a boxed set. Well, I've got two box sets, one of them here in the horror vein, that I'm very excited to add to the collection. This first one I just got a couple of days ago in the mail. Was so excited because I was able to get this for $24, free shipping from an eBay seller. And this is the Hammer Horror Classics collection. I actually went on a Facebook page about the golden monsters, of yesteryear kind of thing, and made a post on there just to get people's advice, because I really had not been into Hammer films, just never taken the time to get into them, and I wanted to. And so I made a post about, where do you begin? What movies should I start with in Hammer films? And there were 6 to 8 titles probably that kept coming up. I got a lot of responses, and 6 to 8 titles that kept coming up over and over and over again, people recommending that I watch. Well, 6 of those titles are right here collected in this, so I couldn't pass that up. So excited. I've watched one of these so far. Can't wait to watch all 6 of them that are in this collection. Now, what are the 6 that come in this boxed set? Well, I'll just hold it this way and let you look. Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed, Taste the Blood of Dracula, Dracula Has Risen from the Grave, The Curse of Frankenstein, The Mummy, and The Horror of Dracula. Now, The Horror of Dracula is the one that I have watched, the only one that I've watched so far. I watched a trailer on YouTube for Taste the Blood of Dracula, which just absolutely blew me away with how it was so beautiful and so terrifying at the same time. It reminded me of Suspiria, where beauty and horror just sort of get blended together in a way that you can't really differentiate, which was what Dario Argento was going for. That was his style. This is just a cardboard box that holds these movies, is all this is. This was what the backside looks like. Most of these movies are Christopher Lee and or Peter Cushing. There's 2 Christopher Lee movies, 1 Peter Cushing movie, and then 3 of those 2 together. So I will say that The Horror of Dracula was outstanding, and I have to really think about, do I prefer the Hammer title of Dracula versus the Bela Lugosi Universal Monsters or Universal Dracula? I'm not sure at this point. With this one being so fresh in my mind and so good, I kind of would need to go back and watch Bela Lugosi again, I think. So I'm not going to say which one I prefer at this moment. They are right there, 1A and 1B to me. And I have a feeling that Taste the Blood of Dracula might even overshoot both of them. If it's as good as the trailer looked, I can't wait to experience all 6 of these movies for the very first time. The Hammer Horror Collection, again, I got this for $24. Free shipping for 6 months, $4 a movie. How awesome is that? Not too shabby, can't pass that up. The other box set collection, not a horror, kind of sort of a horror, sci-fi, fantasy, all that good stuff. It is the Harry Potter complete 8-film collection. That's a beautiful, beautiful cover. Again, this is just a nice cover that holds all the films inside here, and they're all open. All 8 films on reels like that. Now, I've owned 6 of the 8 Harry Potter films already in the individual, purchases, single purchases. I just wanted to consolidate, and I'm going to be taking those to my used bookstore and trading those in for some store credit, where I can buy DVDs or comic books or CDs or vinyl or whatever I want to buy. But I'm going to be taking those in, as well as some other movies that I have. And now that I'm replacing those officially with the Harry Potter film collection, this just is going to look so much nicer sitting on the shelf than the individual films as well. So there you go. Glad to have. I love the Harry Potter movies. I really do. I wish they weren't quite as long as they are. Each one goes 2.5 hours. And a movie really has to be good all the way through to hold my attention for 2.5 hours. Once you get past that hour 45-minute to 2-hour mark, I get restless and I'm ready to move on. Let's get this over with. Finish the story already. And as much as I love the Harry Potter movies, some of them tend to really kind of drag out. I keep thinking, you could have lopped off 20 minutes of this movie, or even half an hour, I think, in places, or shortened them and added another movie. I know they wanted to try to make them fit in with the books as much as possible, but I digress. I go on and on. Anyways, the last things that I wanted to show you in my recent hauls are TV shows. 2 of my favorites, my absolute favorite sitcom now of all time, The Office. I was able to pick up season 6, the complete season 6. Jim and Pam Get Married, of course, and the complete season 7. So now I have 7 of the 9 seasons in my collection. I need 2 more to complete the series. These are all of the ones with Steve Carell as Michael Scott. Carell left the series after season 7. So I've completed all the episodes with Steve Carell. The last 2, of course, carried on without him. Some say they were subpar without him. I could possibly agree with that. There were certain episodes, however, that I think were just as funny and entertaining as any of the seasons that he was on. Last but not least, I was able to acquire season 5 of Lost. So I am 1 season away from completing that. There were 6 seasons of Lost, and I actually I owned all 4 of the first 4 seasons and had watched till about midway through season 4 last year, when I ended up having, surprise, open heart surgery. And after that, I just didn't get back into it. There were a lot of things I just didn't get back into. But I'm now at the point a year later where I'm ready to get back into it and want to finish season 4 and have season 5 ready to go. And then hopefully in the next month or so I'll be able to pick up season 6 and complete the entire series of Lost as well. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good, got a pretty good collection there. Got some TV series that I really, really like. Got some great horror in the Rob Zombie films and the Hammer boxed set. Some great family with Harry Potter series, Inside Out, the Peanuts movie. Got some great, just entertaining classics like Jurassic World and the Revenant, and you know what? I think there was one more. Hang on a second. Well, I paused the video to try to find. I thought I picked up one more movie that I know that I've got, and I don't know where I placed it or what I did with it, and that was the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. I did pick that one up as well. Wish I could show it to you, but you can run to Walmart and see what it looks like if you haven't seen that already. Okay, well, that's it for now. Leave your comments below. Love to hear from you. Like this video. Give it a thumbs up and make the squeaky noise. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. You're going to hopefully get to see a whole lot more videos frequently from this channel. So, again, thanks for watching, and until next time, bye.